Hey, hey, DeWalsh. Everybody come on in. It is slow tonight. Slow. Well, it might be just you and me, DeWalsh. And that'll be fine too. Is it still super hot in Ohio? Ha! Is it hot there? It is hot, hot, hot here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, same here. It's just humid. This guy has caused quite the ruckus. And I'm really hoping that, excuse me, some of the people that commented would show up because I'd love to discuss it with them. Oh, I wish it was storm here. Alexa, never mind. I was going to check
What's
the weather.
Reminder form? What's the reminder form?
Alexa, stop. Girl, stop. Well, we're going to get into it regardless. We are going to get into it. There's something to do with these notifications, and I've been getting emails about it. Right. Where are all these people that were commenting? I'd love to get into it with them. Let's talk about it. So, yeah. Regardless, I'm about to get started because my time is valuable too, just like everyone else's. So, Edward Cagney Matthews is the man that went on the tyrant, racist rant um, on July the 2nd in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Um, what had originally happened was Matthews, who goes by Cagney. Hey, April. I'm glad you stumbled across this. I don't know what's going on with the notifications. I've been getting a lot of emails about that. So he goes by Cagney. And it's sad because he actually looks like an Ed or an Eddie. But he goes by Cagney. He had actually went to the home of the Homeowners Association. Oh, that's my auntie. He actually went to the home of the Homeowners Association president because he wanted to speak to him. The Homeowners Association president is an elderly man who is married to an elderly woman, and they are an interracial couple. He didn't get him, but the wife wanted to speak to him. That's who he got. He got the wife instead of the husband. And that really pissed him off. So he went on this rant with the wife, and he tried to break into her home. She yelled for help. And the man that you see in the video is the man who came to help her. And he was just being a good Samaritan by stepping in and trying to help her stop him from breaking into her home. And then we see what happened. So I'm going to play the video of this tyrant for... That's the thing. See, the first person that showed up was a security guard for the complex. He wasn't even a police officer. That's why he was very disrespectful to him, because he is familiar with him and he has seen him. And they probably could charge him with something in regards to that man as well, and should actually charge him with something for that as well. But I'm going to see if I can get this video to play, just so we can go over it briefly. I want it to be fresh on everybody's mind. Make sure I got it pulled up here. All right. Let me do a screen share. See if I can make this big.
You want to know why I'm going after him? I don't care. I don't give a shit. So why you're here? I don't give a shit. So why you're here? I don't give a shit. Then get the fuck out of here then. I don't give a shit. Put your hands on me one more time. Well, you put your hands on me. Come close. Right there. I know. Right there. That's right there. The Rolling jerseys. Back up. Back up. Keep backing up. Back up. Keep backing up. Don't touch me. 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 Fucking bastard. That's right. Yeah, my parents are both dead. Yeah, right. My parents are both dead too. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nothing. What you gonna do? Nothing. All what you do is harass us all people. That's all you know how to do. You motherfuckers are taking I don't give a shit. Well, then shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up, monkey. White monkey. Motherfucker. You're right. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do shit. Touch him. Touch him. That's what I want you to do. Touch him. Touch him. That's what I want you to do. Touch him. I know better. Oh, good, you know better. Get the fuck out of here. I got you 3 times. I don't give a shit. Don't worry. I don't give a shit. That's called assault. I'm going to wait for the cops to show up. That's called assault. Yes. What? Wait for it to come. Wait for it. We will. Yes. Keep waiting. You walk on someone's property. This isn't their property, you dumb fuck. You dumb fuck. This is. They don't know this is common land. You dumb, ignorant nigga. Right. No, they don't. They don't have any right. Get the fuck out of here. No right. This is called common ground. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's all you know how to do. Walk up, harass all people.
Nobody's harassing anybody.
Yes, you have been. You have been.
Everything's recorded.
I don't
So
give
she
a
heard
shit.
Everything
I
I said.
don't give a
I want to have
shit.
a conversation.
I do not
If
give
you
a
don't
shit.
give a shit, then get
I
the
don't
fuck
give a
out of here.
shit. I don't give a shit about you. I give a shit about that. So you get the fuck out of here.
Okay? I have every right to be here like you do.
Oh yeah.
Just like he does right here. This is called common property.
I don't care.
Okay, well, if you don't care,
Walk away.
learn your laws.
Walk
It's
away.
not Africa.
Oh, this is Africa.
It's not Solomon or wherever the fuck you were.
I was born in America.
Well, then you know
I
what
was
common
born in
ground.
America.
What's common ground?
And I don't give a shit
Common
about
ground.
you.
If
You
you don't
can't
give a
be
shit,
shit about shit. Go out, go back to your house.
I'm
Go
right
walk
here.
your dog. Go do your shit.
I'm right here.
Okay, stay there right there. Do not talk to him. Do not harass me.
Be sure.
I'm going to stay
This
right
monkey
there.
over here, this monkey over here, both have videotape. You putting your hands on me twice.
Oh yes, I got. So what the fuck you gonna go on it?
I'm gonna press charges.
Go on there.
We will.
Go
You
on
want to
there.
know what the police can do?
What will the police do?
Nothing.
Exactly.
They have no jurisdiction here.
Okay, then go. Okay, that's fine.
So when they get here, I'm gonna walk them the fuck off like I just did in front of Berlin's house.
Okay.
Who's Berlin?
Okay, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
The secretary of the board. Her and her daughter are fucking out of here.
I don't care. I don't care. You will not harass them. You will not talk to them. Keep laughing.
I am.
Okay.
I will.
Go, good. Keep laughing. That's all you
Keep
know how
running
to
your
do.
mouth.
That's all you know how to do.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you know how to do.
I didn't touch you. You touched
I
me.
don't give a shit.
That's good.
I
As
don't
long
give a
as you
shit.
know that.
Yes, exactly. I don't give two shits about it. You can't go press charges. I don't give two shits about it.
Hold on. You're right.
I don't
Hold
give a
on.
shit.
Why can't I press? Why can't I press charges? Why can't I press charges? No jurisdiction here. Nothing. There you go. There you go. There you go. Brandon, you have no idea what you've been involved in.
Don't touch it.
And if you want to be involved in this, I'm going to talk to whoever I want.
Exactly.
If you want to get involved in this, you know what happened? The last one?
I know what you did. You broke that window.
Windows. Dude,
I don't care.
Cookie's windows got shot out with a shotgun.
I don't care.
222s to their fucking front face.
I do not care.
In Cherry Hill, their fucking daughter got smashed.
Exactly.
Is that what you want? No. And you want to know where I was when all this happened?
I don't care.
At work, monkey.
I don't care where you are.
At morgue. Just like I told the Mount Laurel police, get these fucking monkey niggers out of here and you can't do shit. That's me talking shit. 3602 Gramercy Way, that's where I live. Come fucking see me. So you're real comfortable. So get me on video so you know what you see. Bring whoever. Hey, White, why are you back over here?
Somebody called me.
Someone called you. It's private property. You have no jurisdiction here whatsoever.
I do.
None.
Somebody calls me.
Hold on.
Guarantee back up.
You know what? Hold on. Go ahead. No.
Back
I'm going to
up.
let you do your thing. Go talk to these fucking niggers. Go ahead. Fuck you. Go talk to the niggers. Let them know what I'm all about and what their fucking rights they have.
Right. You want to go back to your house? I'll come back to you.
No, I'll stay right here. It's common property. Have a nice night.
You guys
Randy,
1101?
I'm going to let you guys get an education right now.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'll do my job.
No problem.
That's what it's not going to talk or?
Denise, I'm not going away until your husband stops fucking finding me and threatening me while I'm at fucking work.
Cagney, cut it out, man.
Oh, wait.
Talk to them.
Arrest me.
I'm
Oh,
not
you
listening
can't.
right now. Relax.
You fucking niggers.
Just cut it out, dude.
That's what you can see, Brandon. 3602 Gramercy Way. Come see me, you
Nobody's
fucking
coming to
monkey.
see you, Cagney. Go home. I'll talk to you in a minute. I agree. I agree with you. You guys all live at 1101?
Don't want to litter in our property.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You want to
Go
go
ahead.
real quick? See what's going on.
Did you know there were
Cagney, cut it out, man. Go home.
All right, so sickening. Hey, D Hill. Yes, he is an absolute tyrant. So again, the whole incident was over him wanting to speak to the, yeah, it's going to be a pull-up summer, all right. Him wanting to speak to the president of the Homeowners Association about these fines that were imposed on him. He didn't get him, he got the president's wife. And that pissed him off. And not only did that piss him off, but the fact that the homeowner president and his wife are an interracial couple, an elderly interracial couple. So he was cutting up there. He tried to break into the home of the Homeowners Association president. That's when she yelled for help, and that's when the young man got involved. He had nothing to do with anything. He was simply trying to help her. If you hear what he's saying, he said, I care about them, not you. Speaking about the president and his wife. He also in the video says that he just left Berlin's house, who is also a member of the Homeowners Association, as the secretary. So he went over there and had harassed Berlin, whoever Berlin is. So that's two right there. Not only did he do that, but once it became national news, another young lady came out and spoke about him and what he had done to her. And I'm going to show that as well. Now, let me pull it up. Let me share this screen so that everybody can see it, or hopefully. Guys, you won't be so glad when I get a laptop instead of the Chromebook. Okay, let me see what this looks like. All right. So what she says, the young man in the video, his name is Michael Tucker. And she says, Michael Tucker has inspired me to share my video and story of a previous very racist neighbor, Cagney Matthews, who literally made my entire year of living in Mount Laurel in my own condo horrible. It's actually a painful experience, especially being he got away with everything. I've always wanted to share, but just didn't. I was a young single mom, and my son is very hyper. Excuse me. We were living in the condo above Cagney Matthews, and he hated hearing my son. He made threats, filed false complaints, tried to pin people against me, constantly harassed me, tried to force me to drop charges, spray painted my car, kicked in my door with numerous people present, and Mount Laurel Police Department did nothing. Literally nothing. Even tried to sway me against not pressing charges on this man and deleted the evidence I sent them, so it wasn't in the discovery in court. This feud went on for over a year. The court had to be changed 3 times because he had too many conflicts with judges. Basically, this man got away with everything he has done, and Mount Laurel lets him do what he wants. Mount Laurel needs to be sued. I wrote newspapers, the county, everyone. No one did anything at all. It was the worst experience of my life. I thought moving to Mount Laurel would have been a great thing, but was really wrong. Here's a picture of how he did her door right there, where he tried to kick it in. Make sure people can see this. All right. She also has a video of him. And I'm going to play that now.
That's why nothing's happening. I sell drugs. That's what I do. That's what I've always done around here. I stopped, went to prison 3 times. Now I have all the friends with the cops. If you guys want to keep doing it this route, we're going to go the legal route. You're not going to get any help from the cops because they're my people. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why you're not getting anything. And I know that you've said that. The cops came down and told me, they said, what do you want us to do? So you can figure that out. We're not trying to cause you a problem. You're not trying to cause us a problem, right?
I've never been trying to cause a problem.
Right. So there's no reason for the cops to come back around. We should be perfectly cordial, be able to have these conversations and be able to live around here with no problem.
Yeah, but now what you're talking about, oh, the cops aren't going to help you, or calling my brother a nigger. I don't bother you. I don't do
Calling
like,
your brother a nigger.
yeah, you did do that.
No, I said, now I'm going to call the cops like the niggers do. That's what I said. I didn't call your brother a nigger.
You said you fucking nigger.
I said, now here I go looking like a fucking nigger calling the cops. That's exactly what I said.
Well, we all heard.
We all heard you.
We all heard it, yeah. Everybody outside. I couldn't believe it because I wasn't even in the argument.
Right, and you weren't even there either.
Yeah,
and
I
I
came outside, up top.
keep doing what you're doing, and then we'll turn it around another way. How about that?
Okay, turn it around another way. I just recorded everything you said on my phone, so go ahead, because I'm about to go file a complaint right now.
You can file.
I am. The whole conversation recorded.
Oh, Pete, I said hello.
Okay, Pete, you said hello. Word. Because it's not about that. I'll go to Internal Affairs. It ain't just about this county.
Internal Affairs got nothing to do with this town. You gotta go to-
It will. It does have to do with the township if the township isn't doing what they're doing. But that's fine, because I'm going to the police right now. Okay, I will. Oh, I will. Yeah.
So what's really going on here? She also took a picture of a note. It just says something, for what it is worth. I am sorry. I can't read it because it's so dull. I'm sorry things have gone the way they have. Hold on. I'm sorry that they have gone the way they have. I appreciate how much better the noise has been. I truly am sorry for making you feel unease. Hope this helps bring us closer to a closure. What a weirdo. And this is what he spray painted on her car. I am a N-word who sucks cocks. That is what it says. He spray painted that on her car in broad daylight in front of people. And nothing happened to him. Not one thing. So, is he the CI for Mount Laurel? Is that what's really going on here? And if so, something needs to be done about Edward Cagney Matthews. His little pitiful ass apology doesn't work. Does not work. He had on a wedding ring in that video there. I can't imagine somebody be married to this little man. And he also seems to have little man syndrome. Bad. Yeah, he's a piece of work. But what they did then, they initially charged him with harassment and bias intimidation. Confidential informant. So if he's admitting to selling drugs on video and working with the police, is he their confidential informant? And is that why he's getting away with everything he's getting away with? On one hand, you hear that was a security guard. And why is he saying they have no jurisdiction on that property? I do not understand that. I do not understand that. Why would the police not have jurisdiction on private property? That's not the way it works here, so I'm very unfamiliar with that in Jersey. Excuse me. But let's look at these charges. So he was initially charged with harassment and bias intimidation. So in the state of New Jersey, let's look at these charges. Harassment. We'll look at that first. New Jersey's definition of harassment. All right. Title 2C, Chapter 33.4, harassment. Except as provided in subsection E, a person commits a petty correct, disorderly person's offense if, with purpose to harass another, he A. makes or causes to be made a communication or communications anonymously or at extremely inconvenient hours or in offensively coarse language or any other manner likely to cause annoyance or alarm. Well, that definitely fits him. Subjects another, B, is subjects another to striking, kicking, shoving, or other offensive touching, or threatens to do so. Or C, engages in any other course of alarming conduct or of repeated committed acts with purpose to alarm or seriously annoy such other person. I think he falls under all of those. A communication under subsection A may be deemed to have been either made at the place where it originated or at the place where it was received. Then there's a D, which was deleted by an amendment. Then there's an E. This is a person commits a crime of the fourth degree if in committing an offense under this section, he was serving a term of imprisonment or was on parole or probation as a result of a conviction of any indictable offense under the law of this state, any other state, or the United States. So he falls under A for sure, and C for sure. If he had touched them, it would have been a different story. Now, the other thing that he was charged with was bias intimidation. And I want to look at that as well. So bias intimidation in the state of New Jersey is, make sure that shows up. Yes. Okay, bias intimidation in the state of New Jersey. 2C, Chapter 16:1, bias intimidation. A person is guilty of the crime of bias intimidation if he commits, attempts to commit, conspires with another to commit, or threatens the immediate commission of offense specified in Chapters 11 through 18 of Title 2C of the New Jersey statutes. 1. With the purpose to intimidate an individual or group of individuals because of race, color, religion, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, national origin, or ethnicity. Well, that falls under him for sure. 2. Knowing that the conduct constituting the offense would cause an individual or group of individuals to be intimidated because of race, color, religion, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, national origin, or ethnicity. That is also what he's guilty of. Or 3, under circumstances that cause any victim of the underlying offense to be intimidated, and the victim, considering the manner in which the offense was committed, reasonably believed either that A, the offense was committed with the purpose to intimidate the victim or any person or entity in whose welfare the victim is interested because of race, color, religion, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, national origin, or ethnicity. Or B, the victim or the victim's property was selected to be the target of the offense because of the victim's race, color, religion, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, national origin, or ethnicity. B, permissive interference concerning selection of targeted person or property, proof that the target of the underlying offense was selected by the defendant or by another acting in concert with the defendant because of race, color, religion, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, national origin, or ethnicity shall give rise to a permissive inference by the trier of fact that the defendant acted with a purpose to intimidate an individual or group of individuals because of those things. C, grading. Bias intimidation is the crime of the fourth degree if the underlying offense referred to in subsection A is a disorderly person's offense or petty disorderly person's offense. Otherwise, bias intimidation is a crime 1 degree higher than the most serious underlying crime referred to in subsection A. except that where the underlying crime is a crime of the first degree. Bias intimidation is a first-degree crime, and the defendant, upon conviction thereof, may, notwithstanding the provisions of paragraph A of this subsection, be sentenced to an ordinary term of imprisonment between 15 years and 30 years, with a presumptive term of 20 years. So that's no small crime. All right. D is gender exemption in sexual offense prosecutions. We don't have that here. Merger is E. A conviction for bias intimidation shall not merge with the conviction of any of the underlying offenses referred to in subsection A of this section, nor shall any conviction for such underlying offense merge with the conviction for bias intimidation. It says additional penalties, in addition to any fine imposed pursuant to New Jersey Statute 2C 43-3 or any term of imprisonment imposed pursuant to subsection C, a court may order a person convicted of bias intimidation to one or more of the following: complete a class or program on sensitivity to diverse communities or other similar training in the area of civil rights. What a joke. Number 2, complete a counseling program intended to reduce the tendency toward violent and antisocial behavior. And, doesn't say or, it says and. Number 3, make payments or other compensation to a community-based program or local agency that provides services to victims of bias intimidation. Then there's a G. It says, as used in this section, gender identity or expression. That wasn't what it was about. H, it shall not be a defense to a prosecution for a crime under this section that the defendant was mistaken as to the race, color, religion, gender. Okay. So he can't say, oh, I didn't know. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. No, can't say that. So if they don't decide to charge him with the higher section of bias intimidation, it looks like he's going to get off with a class about diverse communities. He's also going to have to pay a fine, and he's also which a fine is going to go to a community-based program, and he's also going to have counseling. So really nothing's going to happen to him. Now, what I hope the Mount Laurel Police Department do is look at this girl's case that she has shown and say, look, this is repeated behavior. We're going to have to do something different in this case. If the prosecutors would look at that and say, this is something that's been going on since 2017. That incident was in 2017. He spray painted her car in 2017. So this is not, no hate crime. If this is, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what's going on in Mount Laurel. I wonder if the prosecutor is the same prosecutor that was there in 2017. And this is a young single mother who has this man, you've already seen how he behaves, kick her door in. See, she's a good one. He just hasn't had the right one. Because had he tried to kick my door in, he'd have been leaving in a body bag. Dead ass. That's coming into my home. Now, I don't know what the laws are in New Jersey, but I have a right to protect my castle. That's the castle law. Yeah, I'm curious what the prosecutor's going to do with this guy, because now national attention's on it. It's not just little local peon Mount Laurel. I don't know why the girl's case in 2017 didn't go national. Anytime somebody writes something like that on somebody's car and people can sit there and watch them do it, yeah, I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad they did. And I'm hoping that the homeowners association can do something to get him out of there. He doesn't even deserve to live there. Like, that's a privilege to be there. So I'm sure he's in violation of multiple offenses within the Homeowners Association's rule book, because they're pretty thick. And obviously he's already broken a rule, and that's why he was at the Homeowner Association's president's house to complain about whatever it was that he was fined for. So I'm just not sure why he continues to say the police have no jurisdiction there. That's thrown me off. So I'm not familiar with that. If anyone is from New Jersey and can explain that, why the police would not have money, why the police would not have jurisdiction at this apartment complex or whatever this is, condominium complex. I'm not familiar with that. Not familiar with it. William Sanders says Mount Laurel and Cherry Hill is known for having a racist town. What the prosecutors did was they arrested him on July 2nd. Then they released him on a summons. The prosecutor's office reviewed the new footage that they had showing that Edward Cagney Matthews spat on Tucker. I think his last name is Tucker. He spat on him. And that's when they rearrested him on July the 5th and charged him with criminal harassment and bias intimidation. Yeah, that makes no sense to me either. I think that, thank you, D. Walsh. I think that, well, I mean, and I know because he said it out of his own mouth. He's a confidential informant for the police. But now that he's said it, and now that it's kind of gone national, maybe not her case so much, but this case, I think that I wouldn't want him as a confidential informant anymore. And I think that kind of blows his cover. Oh, I bet they do. I bet they do, William Sanders. So since now his cover is kind of blown on being a narc or whatever you want to call him, I think that they might look at him a little differently. Maybe thinking, man, I wish he would do something so we can be done with him. Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's when he actually walked back and then walked back up to the porch. And that's when he spat on him. Yeah, I'd say he definitely needs to be charged with something else. But this video got quite a bit of comments. I'm going to read a couple that really I got a kick out of on my video. There was one lady that had commented on here. This person says, "Welcome to America, where words can get you arrested, but throwing objects at police trying to cause bodily harm doesn't." So I said back to them, you obviously are misinformed intentionally. The people who behaved in that manner were arrested as well, and they were. This person, who's called Rat Poison, says back to me, if someone is getting arrested for racial slurs in America, that doesn't bode well for anyone. So I hope they only arrested him for disorderly conduct and harassment. Racial slurs fall under protected speech as they aren't a call to action or violence and are not threats. I'm not condoning the man's actions, but he was arrested solely for the fact that he's a racist. You have no idea the standard that sets for the rest of America. I answered back and said, they arrested him for criminal harassment and bias intimidation. And that's another thing, like people don't want to be informed. But this woman, let me find it. She really came at me personally, so I was really hoping that she would show up tonight so we could get into it, but I figured she wouldn't. Red Pill Review News is what she's called. She says, these freaking weirdos have nothing better to do than hang out and make trouble. You know, everybody has the right to be racist if they so choose. And these mobs will never ever change the hearts and minds of people who are racist. You cannot force a man's thoughts. It is his right to his own thoughts, belief, and words. You cannot force anyone to not be racist. This whole thing is just ridiculous and obscene. I replied back and I said, well, what is obscene is the way he kicked in the door of the other young lady who was a single mother. Standing at someone's doorstep and behaving in this way is very obscene. And when you give out your address and ask people to come to your house, I don't know what you expect. He literally invited people to his home. The majority were peaceful. The ones who weren't were arrested right along with him. She says back to me, Helluvachic, you know damn well what you're doing. Don't sit there and try to sound all freaking virtuous. You trying to start another George Floyd fiasco. I don't know about others, but I, for one, am sick and tired of this racist bullshit and people like you blowing it up and propagating the hell out of it. I said back, sounds like you need to be talking to Edward Cagney Matthews about that. I'm simply reporting what happened, or would you rather people not know about it and sweep it under the rug? Please don't subscribe to my channel. We don't want you here. Please believe me. And someone came behind me and said, I think Red Pill Review News was right about you. You're a racist and you hate white people. Only difference is I don't support a mob showing up to your doorstep because you kept using the word cracker in a heated argument. No words. No words, no words. They hate it. They hate it. But I'm seriously confused on how I'm trying to create a George Floyd fiasco. The police came and put their knee on his neck for many seconds. I don't understand. I'm not understanding. I simply put a video out. I'm not ignorant, but let's call a thing a thing. She could have done the very same thing that I did. I want people to hear it. No, they can't stand being exposed. So I hate white people. Hello. Right. And I just read the New Jersey law. Every state's different. New Jersey's law is very specific. Thanks, April. Absolutely, I agree. I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I hope Red Pill Review does not subscribe to my channel. I hope I never read another comment from her again. Let her do her thing over there. All company ain't good company. I've been sunburnt badly, so I'm itching and itching. Sorry, guys. Now, what else did I want to look at? There was an article. He had a hearing today, but I haven't heard the results of that hearing. I also want to know what people know what his excuse was for behaving like this. He said he was drunk. That's what he said. He apologized for his drunken behavior. There was another comment. Hold on, guys. I just remembered it. Here it is. Oh Lord. So this person says Raina Fortini. It's a little lengthy, but I want to read it. May I guess as to why you leave out the moment where his neighbor throws a bottle through a window and the crowd cheers? I didn't throw that out. I didn't leave it out. It just wasn't in the video that I had. To continually make people feel they have to resort to abhorrent behavior to solve problems, that's a solution for what really in the end? More unruly, violent behavior. The very idea that mainstream U.S. media itself is doing this to encourage you to get on board with the same childish perspective on life, you seem better than that. But maybe it's because you know it's at a point where the angry crowd rule has achieved a tipping point. If you don't satisfy their expectations, you risk all of them gaslighting you. Please stop. You don't pay attention to the details. If you were listening, you can hear that this was over fines Cagney was obviously disputing for long enough to drive him mad. So she's saying that because he was fined, it drove him mad, and he had every right to be there because he was mad, mentally mad. This is called gaslighting. From what I gather, a condo board member with authority to fine people had been fining Cagney for something, or likely many things, possibly made up. So now the Homeowners Association president has made up these charges and fines against Cagney just because. But no one cares about the boring details of fines and paperwork. You, talking about me, deliberately choose to emotionally exploit the situation, encouraging people to further misbehave. As if one's inability to hold their temper, no matter what words are being strewn, is ever admirable. It sounds like someone shot a gun through someone else's home, and Cagney is claiming to be set up. That's not what he's claiming. He's claiming to have done it, had someone else do it, but his alibi was he's at work. That's what he's really claiming, if you listen to the video. Have you ever been gang gaslit before? It's not far-fetched to believe this condo board member would stage a crime scene for the purpose of implicating an innocent person. Yes, this person actually wrote that out. What if that is the reason Cagney has gone over the edge? That is the purpose of gaslighting. Now, what will happen to the man will be as follows. They will figure out a way to create a way to compound daily fines to skyrocket past Cagney's ability to pay. Then they will file a lien on his property. Then they will likely take over the title of his property. Then the condo board can have the meeting where people give them the power to do this to anyone they want. Maybe Cagney had the unit with the best yard. And somebody decided they would take his approach take this approach to legally take possession. Yes, they need 5 seats in the back. Sure, this sounds far-fetched to anyone who hasn't been a victim themselves, and that's the tragedy. I just heard about this an hour ago, no less than you, hoping to have a dialogue that grows conscience. But social media is crawling with trolls who enjoy pointlessly fighting. Why encourage that? I wrote back, according to him, he was drunk. He has also been harassing an elderly interracial couple previous to this. I do my research and I do it well. This man is a tyrant and has been doing this to multiple people in the complex. This is not an isolated incident over fines. She says back, I am unable to read past the words, this man is a tyrant, but it sounds like you didn't try to understand what I was saying. And the time I took long enough to put my back out sitting in that damn chair thinking maybe I could talk to you. But it's amazing. It feels like you just came back at me the same way Cagney and his neighbors were behaving. What can I say? I'm disappointed but not surprised. When I try to take a closer look on my friend's computer, it appears you may have removed my comment. No, I didn't. I'm not sure, but we both know cerebral doesn't bring your channel as many hits as sensationalism and exploitation. You're turning a petty squabble into a form of entertainment. Whatever, I'm done. I tried. This woman is a Looney Tune. You hear me? A Looney Tune. She has made up a whole situation that has nothing to do with what's going on in her brain, in her mind. She has a sickness in her mind, okay? There's not a sane person in the world that would have made up the story. That maybe Cagney had the best yard, so everyone wanted to target him and gaslight him and make him go crazy. Come on with the jokes. Come on with the jokes. Baby, you need meds. Right, Kimberly Terrell. Right. She needs to go refill her medication. No, I'm not going to entertain your scenario that you came up with in your fantasy world that you live in and pretend like the whole complex is against Cagney and it drove him to a point of just pure rage. And that's not what happened here. So why pretend like it did? That's not what happened here. Even him himself, he said he was drunk. He was drunk. So what was the case when he kicked in the young lady's door that wasn't on the homeowners association? What would be the situation when he spray painted on her car? Just saying. It's bananas. You have a timeout chair for the adults. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be talking to Karens. Not going to do it, or Kens either. And there was a lot of Kens in the comment section as well. But it's really sad because really, if you go back and watch the video, he literally did say 3602 Gramercy Way, come see about me. And then he also said to Michael Tucker, I think is his name, bring everybody you want. That's what he said. And that's what happened. He got exactly what he asked for. Yes. Right. It's crazy to me. He got exactly what he wanted. And now we have this, oh, I was drunk apology. I'm not buying it. Even if you weren't drunk, you would have still done it. He didn't have any problems walking down the stairs when he confronted that single mother. He didn't look drunk then. What was his excuse at that point? He had no trouble walking. Absolutely. He has a long history of behaving like this. And my whole thing is why? Why did the police allow this man to behave like this? Right. What I want to know is who called the police? Did he himself call them? Or was it the homeowners, the people in the complex that called them? Right. And he wanted to go out and address the crowd. And the police wouldn't let him. See, they're better than me because I'd have pushed him right on out there. I'm just saying. You wanted them here. Go deal with them. Right. So now I'm saying if he really is the snitch that he admits to on the video, and I'm going to play it again so we can hear it and listen very closely to what he's saying. He's saying, hey guys, I sell dope. I work for the police. If you're selling dope and working for the police, that's a snitch. That's a CI, whatever you want to call it, a narc, whatever you want to call it. That's what that is. So is there any use for Cagney Matthews now that everyone has known now that he is a snitch? Who would buy dope from a snitch? So what use is he going to be to the Mount Laurel Police Department at this point? Oh, I guarantee it. Guarantee it, LaMarcus. Guarantee it. And I want to know, was that the complex's security guard or was that the police? Because I've heard that it was a security guard for the complex. But if that was the police and he spoke to them like that, do you know what would have happened if that would have been someone else speaking to them like that? I'm just saying, that's being real. I've never heard anyone speak to the police the way he did. So if that person was the police, oh, he's definitely going to have to get out of that complex. Guarantee it. And it won't be because he was gaslit. It will be because of his own actions. He should have been out of that apartment complex. And I thought it was interesting that, I know I'm loving the cheese eater. I'm taking a mental note of that one. I guess on his Facebook page, it said None Construction where he worked. And None Construction actually put a big post up on their page, on their website for their company. And you had to click it off. It said, to anyone that has seen the video that has gone viral, the person in the video does not and has not worked for Nuss Construction for almost 5 years now. We are a small family-owned and operated business, and we are devastated to see all the, I guess I cut it off, but it said something about devastated to see all the racism that was spewing out of his mouth. So in other words, we are not affiliated with him and haven't been affiliated with him for at least 5 years. But he said something when they were talking about, right, why did only one person show up? When you got somebody that's, hey, Paula, when you got somebody that's that belligerent and that wound up, it should have been a team of police that came. For real, it should have been a team. I'm going to play this video again of this, what he's saying to this single mother, because I don't want to misrepresent anything. And a lot of times I've heard this, and I'm going to explain it one more time for those in the back.
Drugs.
That's
why nothing's
hold on. A lot of times I will read an article and on video, and sometimes I will do like a animated, like reenactment type video. But sometimes I read the article because there's so much detail in there that I don't want to mess it up. And so I go verbatim what the article says so that I don't twist it around. It's very intentional. Let Let's watch this. Let's listen very closely to what he says exactly. With listening with a CI in mind, we're going to listen to what he says. Let me make sure you guys can see it. All right, we're good. So with the confidential informant in mind, let's listen to what he's telling her.
That's why nothing's happening. I sell drugs. That's what I do. That's what I've always done around here. I stopped, went to prison 3 times. Now I have all the friends with the cops. If you guys want to keep doing it this route, we're going to go the legal route. You're not going to get any help from the cops because they're my people. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's why you're not getting anything. And I know that you've said that. The cops came down and told me. They said, what do you want us to do? So you can figure that out. We're not trying to cause you a problem. You're not trying to cause us a problem, right?
I've never been trying to find a problem.
Right. So there's no reason for the cops to come back around. We should be perfectly cordial, be able to have these conversations, and be able to live around here with no problem.
Yeah, but now what you're talking about, oh, the cops aren't going to help you, or calling my brother a nigger. I don't bother you. I don't do
Calling
anything.
your brother a nigger.
Yeah, you did do that.
No, I said, now I'm going to call the cops like the niggers do. That's what I said. I didn't call your brother a nigger.
You fucking nigger.
I said, now here I go, looking like a fucking nigger calling the cops. That's exactly what I said.
Well, we all heard you.
We all heard you?
We all heard you, yeah. Everybody outside. I couldn't believe it because I wasn't even in the argument.
Right, and you weren't even there either.
Yeah,
and
I came outside up top.
Keep doing what you're doing, and then we'll turn it around another way. How about that?
Okay, turn it around another way. I just recorded everything you said on my phone, so go ahead, because I'm about to go file a complaint right now.
You can file.
I am. The whole conversation recorded.
Oh, Pete, I said hello.
Okay, Pete, you said hello. Word. Because it's not about that. I go to internal affairs. It ain't just about this county. It will. It does have to do with the township if the township isn't doing what they're doing. But that's fine, because I'm going to the police right now. Okay, I will. Oh, I will. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Army Mom. See, I think that was the complex security guard as well. So, I mean, he admits right there. He admits it right there. He said, I've been selling drugs here for years. I work with the cops. I went to prison 3 times. Right. Definitely a cheese eater. I'm loving that. I'm going to actually write that down because I've never heard it and it's too funny for me not to remember. And then let's not forget what he did to her by kicking in her door. And writing, I am a N-word who sucks cocks on her car in broad daylight. You can see it looks like a police officer in the reflection up at the top. So actually, it does look like a badge there. So, I mean, what were his charges for doing that? And she said, oh yeah, he was a CI for sure. It says, she said that the court lost the evidence. So what does that tell you? What does that sound like? It sounds like he's got some kind of a connection in that township. And I think the news should be exposing this. I know several stations did speak to this young lady and her mother about this incident back in 2017. But yeah, it needs to come out, and it's, to me, it's equally as important as what he did on the second. and it shows a pattern of behavior. Another young woman didn't want to speak on camera, and she said he did the same thing to her, and she also had video. There's several people that came out and spoke about this. Yeah, it sounds like the town is what needs to be investigated. You hit the nail on the head, April. Nail on the head with that one. What township is that? I guess I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. Mount Laurel, New Jersey. That's the township. Okay. Interesting. It's a township in Burlington County. So yeah, it sounds like the town needs to be checked on, because, well, I'd be interested to see a roster of police employees, police officers, to see if he's friends with any of them, if he's that blatant with it. Yeah, it does, Kimberly Terrell. It does. Yes, exactly. Nene knows. Sounds like Hopkinton, Massachusetts to me. Real close to it. Definitely. So I'm glad this is getting national attention, but I think I'm going to email some of these local news people who have spoke to this young lady and ask them why nothing is getting done to him. They'll email you back. Hey, Aaron McAdams. Wow. Wow, LaMarcus Watkins. He says in Mount Laurel, they had a whole street of people catch cancer at the same time and die. I lie to you not. Yeah, he's more or less tattling on the police at this point, because there's no CI that would come out and say all that and then do something like this, because now all of the heat is on them. Why have you let this guy exist with him behaving like this? You guys should have nipped that in the bud the very first time it happened. But instead, he feels comfortable to keep doing this over and over and over. And you can't even blame this on being drunk. You don't just get drunk and turn into a racist. It doesn't happen. That's like, and I hate it, but I'm going to use this as an example, and it might piss some people off. Even people with Alzheimer's, if they weren't like that before, saying words like that, they won't do that. But if they were like that before, they do still do it. They probably do it more. And you'll hear people say, oh, she's got Alzheimer's. No, dog. No. That's a trait that they have. So he didn't just get drunk and start hurling out the N-word. He'd been doing it long time. Long time. When you see the young lady that he did that to, she's an itty bitty little thing. And I would have been terrified had I been her and had a young child, to know that little guy was kicking in my door and behaving the way he was. I would not have been comfortable. Would not have been comfortable. And she's lucky that he's lucky that she didn't have a weapon, because I really believe that would have been self-defense. Because I believe that the other people that he had been harassing would have came out of the woodwork, just like they have now. It was just going to take one incident to really blow up for somebody to step up and say, he did this to me, and he did this to me, and he did this to me. And so now you've got all these people coming together saying, this is what he did to me. Right. That's a whole nother ball of wax, LaMarcus. Whole other ball of wax. But very good point. Where were the men to protect her? I know she's married now, but at that time she wasn't. But she speaks about a brother, so I don't know. It's a sad situation. But I'm like, why? I know he's in violation of so many rules of that apartment complex. Yeah. Right. I mean, just a blatant idiot. A blatant idiot. Doesn't have the sense God gave him. I'm glad, William Sanders. I'm glad. But I want this lady's story to get out too, along with it, and start snowballing it. And everybody put them all together and then say, whoa, why the hell was this going on in this town? And nobody stopped this. And did you hear what she said in her post? She said that I'm going to read it again, because it's very important to hear what she's saying. Let me share the screen. It's very important to hear what she's saying, not just her video, but hear her words. All right. What she said is, Michael Tucker has inspired me to share my video and story of my previous very racist neighbor, Edward Cagney Matthews, who literally made my entire year of living in Mount Laurel in my own condo horrible. It's actually a painful experience, especially being he got away with everything. I've always wanted to share, but just didn't. I was a young single mom, and my son is very hyper. We were living in the condo above him, and he hated hearing my son. He made threats, filed false complaints, tried to pin people against me constantly, harassed me, tried to force me to drop charges, spray painted my car. He kicked in my door with numerous people present, and Mount Laurel Police Department did nothing. Literally nothing. She even tagged them in the post. Even tried to sway me against not pressing charges. And the man they even tried to sway her against not pressing charges on this man, and deleted the evidence I sent them so it wasn't in the discovery in court. This feud went on for over a year. The court had to be changed 3 times because he had too many conflicts with judges. Doesn't that sound bizarre? Basically, this man got away with everything he has done, and Mount Laurel lets him do what he wants. Mount Laurel needs to be sued. I wrote newspapers, the county, everyone. No one did anything at all. It was the worst experience of my life. I thought moving to Mount Laurel would have been a great thing, but was really wrong. Several people tagged the newspapers and the media in that post, so they're fully aware. Dang, D. Walsh. It's popping off there. That's, LaMarcus, that's the way it should be. It's bananas. It is absolutely bananas. So, I think I might stir the pot a little bit and start asking some questions about this town. Yeah, Army Mom, good point. Apparently, the police department have the same ideology as Cagney. Yeah, that's kind of the way they were acting, at least the security guard, like, okay, Cagney, go back to your house. We'll be down in a minute. Bless your heart, D. Walsh. Yeah, grandfathered into the town. I'd like to know if the name Matthews is an important name in that town. But it does remind me, too, of Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Very strange. Thank you, LaMarcus. I just want to know. I want to know more about Mount Laurel, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I will poke and prod everywhere I have to. But I want to know if Matthews is a prominent name in that area, who his people are. If he's a CI, is that what the excuse is for all of this behavior of his? Like, what is going on? There's something deeper here, something way deeper. We're just scratching the surface. Because there's something else that's allowing this man to terrorize people and not get in trouble about it. Yeah, D. Walsh, let's get on it. But I appreciate all of you guys' time. It's already been an hour and 20 minutes. I try not to tie up too much of anybody's time because time is very valuable to me. I learned a long, hard lesson at 38 about time and how valuable it is. So I appreciate everyone's time for coming to this live and everyone for chatting and talking about it, because that's how things get talked about in a group, and we can all be adult and share different opinions. We don't all have to agree, but there's a way to do it. And I appreciate everyone for, thank you, William Sanders. I believe that. Good idea, LaMarcus. Good idea. I know, Sarah. It's crazy. I feel like I could be on here all night chatting with you guys. I love to do live. Thank you, Nay Knows. I'm so glad you were able to join. But I love talking to you guys and tossing out stuff and bouncing it off and trying to get to the bottom of these things. Because we can do it and be respectful. I hate to end this, guys, but thanks for everybody for coming. And I'm gonna try to do Tuesday, Thursday, and then probably more than that, because me and D. Walsh are working on some really good stuff. So she has been an angel, an absolute angel to me. Thank you so much, D. Walsh. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end it there, and I'll see you guys on Thursday at 8:15. Good night, everybody. Be safe. Be safe, guys. Be easy.